Greetings, everyone. This is Jed Shlackman. In this video presentation, I will be speaking about a subject that I'll refer to as truth heals. In the context of the healing arts, there are often things people have experienced or carried along in their lives that have been suppressed or hidden. There may be experiences that a person feels some shame or guilt about. This happens not only for individuals, but also with families, with groups or organizations. So we have these hidden secrets that in some way haven't been resolved. It's like an elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about. And even though consciously people are not dealing with it, unconsciously it's creating an effect that creates disharmony, that creates disease in some way. We live in an era now in our planetary history where a lot of things that have been kept hidden or suppressed are coming up to the surface. When this happens, people are forced to face or confront those things, or else to attempt to continue in denial. If you're on a healing path or healing journey, your desire would be to not stay in denial, but to begin to process those things that may be uncomfortable, to find some form of peace and acceptance with them, perhaps some process of forgiveness. If we each look at our own lives, we need to be honest with ourselves if there are any things that we carry guilt or shame about, any things that we feel really uncomfortable speaking about. Those are the types of things that can foster some type of disease or distress. In order to be fully balanced and whole, we have to be able to embrace all those different parts of ourselves and be at peace with them. If we suppress and deny things, some part of our higher consciousness will attempt to help us see or confront those things, so they will be brought to us unconsciously. It might be through additional events in our life that reflect a similar pattern. It may be through physical symptoms or illnesses, so there will be some way that that higher consciousness will bring things to our attention. Ultimately, everything will be resolved somewhere along our path, somewhere along the soul's journey. Looking at human civilization, we can see that there are cycles. And in those cycles, there are times when things may be kept hidden and suppressed, and other times when things are brought to light, brought to the surface. The present time is really a great opportunity to confront and explore those shadows, those things that we've kept hidden or kept suppressed in our subconscious. This can be painful at times. There are some things that we often don't really want to face or look at. However, the sooner we are willing to confront those things, the more future pain we may be able to avoid. So if we're proactive rather than reactive, we can deal with things now rather than continually having them brought into our life. Truth is a word that can mean different things to different people, since there can be different levels of truth. Truth can be something in a very commonplace, practical sense, simple facts that we deal with in our everyday life. But then there are deeper truths, the truth of what each of us have individually experienced, the truth of cosmic principles or universal laws that appear to underlie or create a foundation for our reality. Sometimes we need to just work on our own personal truth, and other times it's important to explore greater truths, larger principles that are at work. One of the deepest truths is the nature of reality itself, that none of us are really separate from that ultimate source, that cosmic creative principle, the infinite intelligence that is present in all of creation. When we imagine ourselves to be separate from that source, we are creating some form of wounding to ourselves, some type of dis-ease or disunity. When we remember who we truly are, our ultimate origin, that can bring us peace and help us reunite with our higher source and with the rest of that field of consciousness. In doing healing work, I encourage many of you who would like to get further into that to do some journaling and reflection, writing down things about yourself or your life that you felt uncomfortable with, things that have been hard to speak about, things you may have felt ashamed about, guilty about, things you may have regretted or resented. And when we can be fully honest with ourselves about those things, this brings us a great opportunity to process them, to begin to shift our perspective and be able to relate to those matters or issues in a more healthy way. So I invite each of you in your personal life and in the world around you to be seekers of truth, to try to embrace truth at its deepest levels, to honor yourself and others, to be aware that truth truly does heal. And when we avoid the truth, we're usually perpetuating some type of disharmony or disease. I would like to thank each of you for taking the time to explore this topic, for making a commitment to your own personal growth, your own spiritual development. For those of us here having this human experience, this is one of the most valuable things that we can do. And I congratulate each of you for your desire to grow and evolve. Namaste.